The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are on the rise, and their growing influence in global trade could change the economic landscape. As BRICS aims to reshape international trade systems, the United States may face significant challenges. But how exactly will this shift affect global trade and the U.S. economy? In this video, we'll explore the rise of BRICS, its plans for international trade, and what this means for the future of the U.S. economy. BRICS is an alliance of 5 major emerging economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, that together represent over 40% of the world's population and nearly 25% of global GDP. Formed in the early 2000s, BRICS has become a powerful force in global economics and politics. Over the years, BRICS has focused on economic cooperation, trade partnerships, and development projects. Its goal? To create a more balanced global economy and reduce reliance on Western-dominated institutions like the International Monetary Fund and World Bank. BRICS nations are pushing for reforms in the international trade system that could alter global economic dynamics. One of the most significant efforts is the shift away from the US dollar as the dominant currency in global trade. BRICS countries, particularly China and Russia, are advocating for trade in local currencies, reducing their dependence on the dollar. This shift is particularly evident in energy markets, where BRICS countries are exploring trade agreements in currencies like the Chinese yuan or Russian ruble. This change could reduce the global demand for the US dollar, weakening its status as the world's reserve currency. Additionally, BRICS nations are forming regional trade alliances with developing countries, offering new markets and investment opportunities. These alliances could divert trade from traditional US-dominated markets, reshaping global supply chains and reducing the influence of Western economies. So, how will this shift affect the United States? First, a reduction in the US dollar's dominance could have significant consequences. If more countries start trading in other currencies, the demand for the dollar will decrease, potentially leading to inflationary pressures in the US economy and higher borrowing costs. Secondly, BRICS's growing influence in trade could hurt US exports. If BRICS nations expand their trade networks and strengthen their ties with developing markets, American companies may find it harder to compete in these regions. Industries like technology, manufacturing, and agriculture could see reduced access to key global markets. Moreover, as BRICS countries focus on their own economic cooperation, the US could face increased competition in sectors like infrastructure development, energy, and technology. This could lead to a shift in global investment patterns, with more capital flowing into BRICS economies instead of the US. The US will need to adapt to these changes. One possible response is strengthening its own trade alliances, particularly with Europe and other developed economies. By reinforcing partnerships through trade agreements like the USMCA or the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the US can bolster its influence in the global market. Another strategy could be fostering innovation and investing in key industries to remain competitive. If the US focuses on cutting-edge technologies, renewable energy, and infrastructure improvements, it can stay ahead of the curve in global economic competition. But ultimately, the challenge from BRICS will require the US to navigate an increasingly multipolar world, where economic power is shared among more players. BRICS is rising as a major force in global trade, and its actions could reshape the global economy, reducing the dominance of the US dollar and challenging American influence. The United States must adapt by strengthening trade alliances, investing in innovation, and navigating this new economic reality. The future of international trade is shifting. The question now is, how will the United States respond to the growing power of BRICS? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insights into global economic trends and their impact on the world.